Okay, let's see, this should be working. Of course, there's no audio right now, because I gotta start the thing. Is gamepad compatible? Okay, audio seems fine. Might have to continue. I'll wait for the ad break. I'll send out the ad break. Also, I realized too late that yesterday's stream is complete ass. Sounds like complete ass. Because I updated my audio driver and that caused it to switch over to my webcam audio, which is not good. Go figure. Let me make sure that this is, yep, this is okay. And if I were to listen to it, it would sound fine, right? It would sound fine, right? It would sound fine, right? There's a lot of background noise. Okay, I'll run the ads while I manage that. Background noise removal. Let's see. Does that sound better? Does that sound better? Yep. Yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah, it does. Okay. Yep. Yeah, it does. Okay. There we go. Now we wait for the ad break to be over. And I can explain a little bit what is going on here, because this game is a handful. It starts simple, but it becomes a handful very fast. I really do want to make a video about this game, because I feel like others don't really do it justice. As far as first discovery, like first trying the game, there's a certain mindset you need to have. If you don't got it, then it just doesn't click, and then it feels like it just kind of feels unbalanced, which it is, but you're the one on. You should be always trying to be on the winning side of the unbalanced game, if that makes sense. You want to break it, you want to abuse the mechanics. The game expects you to do so. It gives you plenty of tools to do so rather easily and swiftly. There we go. Alright, ad break is over. So, Siralim Ultimate. This is like Pokemon, if Pokemon had very abusable mechanics. So if we look at like for example, like I'm just looking at the creatures you can summon right now, that I can summon because I've defeated them. You've got like usually the race they're from, like in this case I'm sorting by race, so like Amaranths are a race and they all have things that work together, like traits they're called, but they're basically like Pokemon abilities, right? So after your creatures gain defense, they gain an equal amount of attack. Your creatures have 50% more defense, and creatures deal additional damage with attacks equal to 30% of their defense. And there's like more of them, and there's even like a master trait which for Amaranth I don't know what it does, but every race has one, which makes things even better. So this is a scaling with defense. If you look at Amphisbaena is extra actions. Basically, they're all like, this is extra attack, but attacks deal 30% less damage. This is extra cast, the spells, but they're 30% less potent. And this is after they apply a debuff, they apply an additional random debuff. So it's extra actions that you can add. Now, why I'm going through all of the like these as example is because you can fuse creatures together to give them two traits. So in this case, actually there's a better view I can look at if I go here and do this. So in this case, right, I've got a Frozen Spirit, which does, after your creatures are healed, they gain 25% defense, and your creature's attack deal 50% of the damage using defense. Yes, that is the one Amaranth I showed, the third Amaranth I showed. That is the one I fused with this Frozen Spirit. Now, this at the start of battle, this creature's class changes to that of a creature to its left and gains a copy of the fused trait of the creature to its right. This thing, we'll look at it later because there's traits from the... because it's mostly being supported by the class itself, my character class. Unicorn Vivifier is its teammate that it takes the thing from. So it has a Reinvocation. After this creature attacks, it resurrects a random ally with 50% health. This is a backup strategy. This is a backup plan. Dark Embrace. After your creatures die, this creature gains 25% of their attack, intelligence, defense, and speed. So the thing with that, right, is that we have ways to protect the unicorn from dying. We want it to die last. So of course, it gets protected the most. And then both of these two gains a percentage of the stats of a creature that dies. So if one of my other guys die, all of the defense that they accumulated, 25% of it goes to both of these. So they get to stick around longer. They get to survive longer. Now this guy, pretty useful. And on a high note, if an enemy's mania potency, we'll look at mania, that's the class specific debuff. If it's greater than 100% of its maximum health when it dies, it cannot be resurrected. This is more of a contingency plan against enemies that really love to constantly revive. This just says no. And this creature can't cast spells manually, but can equip 3 extra spell gems. At the start of battle, your creatures gain copies of this creature's permanent spell gem. This threat does not stack. We have a spell gem on it, a single spell gem. This will become very evident why. We'll look at that in 2 monsters down. Nature's Blessing from this Ent. Your creatures always have mending. Mending just means they heal for a percentage of their health at the start of their turn. And after your creatures are healed, they gain a random buff. This trait does not stack. And finally, what brings it all together, Fan Dance. All effects that activates when a creature defends will activate an additional time, and after your creatures defend or provoke, they cast one of their spells at random. So they cast twice, basically. And there's only one spell they have, and it's the one that is shared by this guy to all of them. Which is creatures Abundance. Your creatures, now there's a bunch of healing. Your creatures recover a small amount of health and gain a small amount of attack. And a 90% chance to cast after healing, which only applies to this one and not the copies, unfortunately. But that's fine. Now, what brings it all together is the Siren, the Mermaid class, which has things like, okay, first off, all creatures ignore the effects of Blighted. Blighted is a debuff that makes it so that healing becomes damage. Of course, this class wants to heal a lot, as you'll see. And so having a perk that just says no to the one thing that it hates is pretty good. It also applies to the enemy, by the way. So if the enemy is randomly blighted and you really want to heal them, but they just... Because yes, there are incentives to heal the enemy. Happy as a Clam, your creatures take 5% less damage for each time they've been healed. For each time they've been healed. Very important, because the way I'm doing the build, we're doing a quantity first. So we're getting small heals from everyone twice every time they defend. And then on top of that, High Tide. All creatures can trigger healing effect even while they're at full health. So we ensure that we get, this triggering even if they are full health. Because normally if you try to heal something and it's already full health, it's just not going to heal. It's not going to count as being healed. So this makes it so that it does. Hubs of Encouragement. After your creatures reach the bottom of the timeline, your Guardian casts Words of Encouragement on them. So basically at the end of their turn, but there's also other ways to put them at the bottom of the timeline. So you just keep that in mind. There's like Snared, which at the end of every turn gives the creature a chance to go to the bottom of the timeline. Which synergizes with this very much. Impenetrable Shell. Your Guardian always has defensive. In addition, it has additional defense equal to 10% of the healing it has received in the current battle. Not that great, but it's good to have extra defense because, again, it helps. Kill 'em with Kindness. Enemies always have mania. The potency of this debuff is refreshed at the end of the enemy turn. Let's have a quick detour to see what Mania does. Status effects. Whoop, 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 where is it? There it is. Mania. Creatures with Mania take damage at the end of their turn, equal to 3% of the health of all creatures had recovered when this debuff was applied. So the enemies with this perk always have Mania, and it is refreshed at the end of each enemy's turn. So you just keep healing and you don't have to worry about applying Mania, and every time an enemy's turn ends, the potency is refreshed, so it becomes stronger, provided you just keep healing, right? That's the thing. And it's all creatures healing. So if you were to, say, keep healing the enemy as well as your allies, you would get really high really fast. After your creatures reach the bottom of the timeline, they gain 30% defense. That's really good. Again, we're scaling defense to use a certain 50% of that defense as attack. Your Guardian and adjacent allies gain 50% more healing, just an extra amount of healing. Your Guardian always has taunting. I did not put that one on because I want my Guardian to stay alive, ideally. Guardian and adjacent allies are immune to debuffs in non-boss battle. Really good, because there are some debuffs that are absolutely destroying my build otherwise, such as Fear, which prevents stat gains. That's really bad. Rising Tide raises all boats. All creatures receive additional healing equal to 30% of the damage your Guardian has taken. I did not pick that one because my Guardian, because I'm scaling defense so high, so fast, that my Guardian will not take damage. It's just that simple. Slime Shot. The first time your Guardian or adjacent allies are killed, they are resurrected with 50% health. And your Guardian casts Chrysalis on them, which gives them more defense. And also, when a creature is revived, it is revived at the bottom of the timeline to avoid, just abusing. Like, the revival mechanic is already abusable as it is. So, if a creature is revived, it is at the bottom of the turn order. So happy I could die. Enemies have reduced stats equal to 30% of the amount of healing they've received. Right now, I'm not really healing the enemies because I don't have a spell that heals everything. I'm using the one that heals all my team. But once I do, this is going to make it even easier to survive and to kill enemies. Tasteful Treasure. Your Guardian can equip 5 additional spell gems. Right now that's irrelevant because I'm only needing 1 spell gem that I share among everyone. But it could be useful at some point. We will get more perk points. Essentially, we're not really at the point of, like, this is not the end game. This is not the post game. We're still in the middle of the story, per se. But you get enough perk points to buy every perk by the time you're in the end game, in the post game, I should say. And at the start of your creature's first turn, they cast Word of Encouragement on themselves. Which Words of Encouragement just means they heal 3 times. They heal 3 times. Which, means that they gain 3 times defense and all that. So, with that in mind, we just go ahead, go to Bastion of the Void. So the way it works basically is you just go around, visit portals, kill enemies. One thing I've touched on during, hold on, let me, so you see right now one of my guys died because the enemies, like I'm level 71, the enemies are level 119 right now. The gap will only get higher and higher as you continue going up in levels. The game wants you to break it. It needs you to break it because if you want to just play fair, you are going to get absolutely destroyed. Not only are the enemies out leveling you, they come with their own skills, which can be very dangerous. They come with their own artifacts, which gives them extra stats, and a bunch of spells that could actually counter your build. They all do that. So what I recommend if you're wanting to play this game is whenever you see a new creature, look at what it does. We've got 2 occultists. So what do occultists do, right? Your creatures have 7% more intelligence for each sorcery spell each of your creatures have equipped. Permanent ones, so no spell tap ones, because spell tap gives temporary ones. Maximum of 3 per creature. So their intelligence is pretty high, as you can see. After your creatures manually cast a spell, this creature casts Magic Missile, which is a sorcery spell, on a random enemy. That's also an issue. Now, these are Carnage. So, Shadow Carnage, after this creature kills a creature, your creature gains a random buff for each buff, debuff, and minion the target had before it died. Okay, if this thing kills any of my guys, it is going to gain a lot of buffs, because I am going to gain a lot of buffs. After this creature kills a creature, it recovers 100% health and takes another turn. But this trait only allows a creature to take an additional turn once at a time. Okay, not that bad. Now these two are shadows. Shadows are centered around fear, which is why I have 2 of my creatures are feared right now: the clam and the fish. So at the start of battle, this creature afflicts 3 random enemies with fear. This trait does not stack. Now, because this is a boss encounter, because I went through a portal, my creatures are just resistant to it. They can resist. As you can see, only 2 of my creatures are feared, and this would have feared 3. It is a percentage, just a 50% chance of not being feared. And Shadow Moths, enemies with fear deal 60% less damage with attacks. Okay, so they've essentially neutered 2 of my guys. It's fine. The Unicorn gets to do its thing. Revive. And because it has defensive, it defends at the end of its attack. And now, yeah. Now comes the interesting part, because this thing is not going to be able to do anything because it's feared, so it doesn't have like the stats it should have. See, this has 3000 defense, and this is still at 300. Same here, this is 848, but it innately gets defense, right? Its spell potency is based on its defense. No, it does not gain defense, but it is just going to stay at 800. But my other creatures are scaling their defense pretty high. So I just have to sit there and spam more of the oh, looks like I high rolled. he's gonna do it again. Let me check if the audio is annoying. Oh god, it's pretty loud, huh? There we go. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, it's there's a difference in sound. I like the audio though, so I'll bring it to about here. That should be fine. So this guy here can already probably attack. Usually 2000 should be enough. Yeah, 3000. So we can start dealing damage. And as you can see, oh wow, that did not kill. I was gonna say this does one shot, but this does. Because he got the splashing debuff, splashing buff, I mean. This thing cannot deal damage with attacks anyway, so by default I'm having it defend. Oh, alright. Something happened. Removed buffs. Greater Dispel from Raptor Occultists. I see. Doesn't matter. Removing the buffs does not remove the damage, so I am one-shotting things with anything that does did not get feared. I say that, but these guys are annoying, huh? Kill it and then kill this, and there we go. 30,000 damage, by the way. So that was a boss enemy. There's like this is a special enemy. So this is every realm, every like level, every 5 or so levels you get a new area. And there's always special enemies. In this case, the special enemies is those wisps, which they all have like really powerful traits, with the downside that if they get hit, they get sent to the bottom. So this is more damage. This is triple cast and triple attack, but again, if it takes damage, to the bottom it goes. Same here, goes to the bottom. This creature always deals crit damage and has an independent 90% chance to dodge attacks. And after it takes damage, it is sent to the bottom of the timeline. And this creature is immune to debuffs and takes 50% less damage, which again, it is sent to the bottom of the timeline. It's the only one that does not have mania because it is immune to it. So, of course, the strategy remains the same. We defend. We get a bunch of healing from it. We try to reach a certain threshold. Another defense should work. And now we attack. Alright, let's see if we can get lucky. Nope. We did not get lucky. I'm on super turbo mode, by the way. On normal speed, this would be absolutely hell. This would be absolute hell. There we go. Easy peasy. We do it like that. Every place has its god, and the more you do battles in their realm and do things in their realm, the more favor you get, which means you get more better rewards from the god statue. They have like their own shops with their own like creatures. They all have like a set of creatures you can assemble. All effects that activates when a creature provokes will activate an additional time. Okay. So these are for artifacts. So you can craft artifacts and give them things. At level 15, they get to equip a thing that gives them another trait. So you can have a maximum of 3 traits equipped on every single creature. So you have a team of 6 creature. That means 18 traits total can be assembled to work together. This is a normal enemy. As you can see, no debuffs are being applied. This new guy's more occultists. After an enemy casts a spell, that spell gem is sealed. That's a problem. We're casting spells. Enemy creatures deals less damage with attacks and spells for each creature with stone that is fighting on their side. Why did we get status still? I do not know. Anyway, we're gonna need to do as much as we can. As you can see, it was sealed, but I believe we can still use it. No, we can't. Once it's been sealed, it cannot happen again. So now we can't really do more sealing. We can't really do more of that, so we have to just rely on the innate from this. No, it's from the traits, but yes, it's from the class, the innate words of encouragement, which is not a spell gem and therefore does not get bothered by such trivial things. Low Tide, and also Mania, which dealt a lot of damage at the end of their turn because we healed a lot. Once again, when this creature casts a single target spell on an enemy, it deals more damage and afflicts the target with stone. Okay, and we got the weird baby. Now, why did I don't know why it's still letting me get feared, because I do have the perk that makes it so that it shouldn't happen. Then again, this is a new class, so please, come on. We'll just proceed. Attack. Defend. Because I missed the attack, I did not get the ent back. It's fine. I think it's because it's during combat, so start of battle, the buffs don't get avoided. There we go. Alright, and now I can start gaining buffs, which is important. Okay, but the Mania did the job. Wild Growth. So every now and then you'll see these, right? This is unlocking spells that I can craft, or you know, traits that I can put in artifacts. Wild Growth is great. If I were to have my clam cast this on itself repeatedly, I could have a build where maybe it spreads its max health to other allies as well. And well, it does gain it does have to gain mending. I could replace the ant and work things around. Wild growth is very funny because it gets the health very high. And if you can scale that healing with HP, yeah, with health, it can get really silly really fast. Yeah, I think the start of combat things are not being negated. Okay, we're gonna kill. What is this? Oh yeah, mythic ants are very silly, very dangerous because they gain random shit. In this case, this is spell gems, and this makes them very tanky. As at the start of each of the creature's turn, they recover 15% health for each mythic ant fighting on your side. Not that it really matters because I'm going to one-shot them real soon, and honestly, they're kind of well, they would have been a good one to have, staying alive, but splashing damage happened. Did I skip over this guy? Okay, this is a creature master. So this is a wisp master, so we can finally see what wisps do from their master. So let's see here. So this thing says, at the start of this creature's turn, your creatures gain random buffs, and if it takes damage, it is sent to the bottom of the timeline. Okay. This creature deals more damage. Yeah, we got that one. What does this one do? At the start of this creature's turn, it casts its first 5 permanent spell gems. After this creature takes damage, it is sent to the bottom of the timeline. So, Master Wisps, what does it do? Everyone has it. If all of the creatures in your party are wisps, they have 25% chance to avoid damage and gain shelled at the start of their turns. This trait does not stack. So, they have a 25% chance to avoid damage, and that stacks on top of this because everything stacks on top of each other. It just, a lot of traits do not stack with themselves, but different traits that do similar things. So 90% chance to dodge attacks, and even if you do manage to hit, 25% chance to negate all damage. So that is what a full wisp team can do. Now, they're all very threatening as well. However, I will just do the same as usual. We're going to just attack this. Or try to pierce through and deal damage somehow. All we need to do is kill a thing that might be too dangerous. This chick is blinded, but that's fine. That just makes the... I think that just makes attacks random. We're just trying to... There we go. Okay, so splashing damage does not check for accuracy, does not check for evasion. So the only thing it really cares about is the damage that you deal to your first target. So at least we got that going for us. So now we can start attacking like crazy. Because honestly, at this point, if we inspect our creatures, they have 5,000 defense. They should be able to just completely own... Well, except she's blinded, so... Attack. Wow, okay. Well, we're not getting lucky with those... There we go. And now there's only one guy left, and we just have to... Oh! Died to Mania. And then we get that so that if we wanted to make a full Wisp team, we could just do that now. So again, this is my strategy right now, but there are very varied strategy. There are like, what, 30 different classes? And they all do different things. Once we're done with this, this floor, because there's a mini quest, right? You see End of the Void, Close Rifts. That's these things. I need to close 5 to finish the quest of this floor, basically. One thing, if you ever like want to reduce the amount of stuff that happens, that looks on the screen, it's because I have eye candy. So you can remove the battle animations. So we can do that, and is there other... Ultra Turbo. I think, yeah, if we remove the battle animations, it should reduce the amount of things that happen. I mean, it will still be happening, but there will be less effects. Yeah, as you can see. So defend. Okay, I think I have to turn off the eye candy mode, that's why. Because otherwise it's just gonna do that thing. I should have waited to get splashing on it for sure. Oh well. Okay. So the reason I'm shooting through all those buffs, right? Getting so many buffs. Yeah, it's from the end, but the reason I put the end there in the first place is because one of the buffs you can get is where is it? Rebirth. Creatures with rebirth are resurrected with 50% health when they die. And of course at the bottom of the timeline, so they get healed 3 more times. So essentially I get 2 chances to get rebirth on my creatures. Whoa, what was that? And I have to look at the log. Because what the hell? Why? False Beliefs. False Beliefs is a spell. It's a spell that deals damage that scales with the amount of healing received in the battle. Of course, because that's all I'm doing, healing, that did not do well for me. Crit ignores an amount of defense, and it crit like 4 of my creatures. Thankfully, the 3 first ones get to revive once per battle, so they just revived back and then got healed a couple more times. Let me go here in options, gameplay. I need to remove the eye candy mode, I think. What is it? Battle eye candy. So removing battle eye candy will play against these things. So shadows, or I guess I should say Void Lord. Void Lords say have like repelling, which is preventing. None of them have it actually, but repelling essentially is a debuff that reduces the damage they take from spells, I believe. As you can see, it's even faster, and it's still like we're not seeing the numbers, right? And we're not seeing the animations. But it is doing the thing. And you can speed it up really, really fast. So these guys work with repelling, but since none of them have the trait that gives everything repelling, they're just kind of not doing anything. Which is an advantage you have against the enemies too. Like, they're way over leveling you, but usually even if you're fighting like encounters where there are a whole team of them, they're not super honed, they're not breaking the game. Unless you add realm instability, in which case they might... Ooh, wow, we're lucky. These portals, these are unique. So backers for this game got to design creatures. And then these creatures were put in the game. And a lot of them were added in with the 2.0 update. So let's see what this one is. Grub it. Alright, I wanna read what it does. So let's see. Inspect. After this creature is killed, it deals damage to enemies equal to 3% of its lowest stat, multiplied by the number of times it attacked in the current battle. Oh. Siralim is this kind of game where you have to sit back and think about the implications. It's gonna be easier to figure out the more you know about the game, but a trait like that has the potential to be extremely abusable. There is a class in the game that lets all your creatures be revived 3 times in battle. There are traits that makes it so that all your creatures are revived if that creature dies. All of your other creatures is revived, which you can have, you know, 2 creatures with that trait, and as long as they're not both killed at the same time, no, even if they're both killed at the same time, it would revive everyone else. You would have to, yeah, you would have a pretty airtight until, you know, some trait comes up that prevents reviving to a certain point. Anyway, And then there's a lot of traits that give extra attacks. So there's bats that can attack. There's like hunters have extra attacks. There's a hunter specifically that comes to mind. And there's also stat raising, which you can gain from attacking. You can cast spells to gain that these stats. The stat gains can be fiddled around with as well. That is very, very cool. My strategy remains the same. As you can see, I don't get a lot of healing, but I get a quantity of it that matters, because every time I do get healed, I get stronger. So we didn't let her attack. Not that it would have been relevant, because she did not get enough stats to do anything with it. Miss. Okay. Why did I miss? I don't know. Probably just a chance to miss. So after this creature attacks and the target damage exceeds 300% of the target's lowest stat, it is killed. Oh. So this essentially reduces the threshold of attack you can do. You have to do to one-shot something. Just the target's lowest stat. So the way you can do this is either by reducing the enemy's defense so much that you can deal 500 damage. You reduce their defense to the point where it's at 100, and then you deal 500 damage and they're dead. Even if they have like 5 million HP. Interesting. And Six Lantern. Your sorcery creatures and beacon creatures always have protected. An enemy sorcerer. After an enemy sorcery creature casts a spell, that spell's gem is sealed, and this creature's spell gems gains a charge. Spell gems have charges. They have limits. The reason why it's not come up in my case is because I'm sharing copies, and the copies do come with an amount of charges. It's a lower amount than if they just had the spell gem. I'll show the copy. So the copies here, I have one from the clam, which has a generous modifier on it, and I have one from the fish, which has 3 charges on it. And these are copies. These are ethereal, so you know, we just do the thing. We just do the thing. I should actually check my buffs before I attack, because I keep messing that up. And now we can one-shot things if we don't miss. Why am I missing? There's a lot of chaff. Yeah, they dodged. I see. All right, speed speed does determine the chance to dodge. Anyway, they're dead. What? Why did I not? Oh, can't cast spell. Why? Oh, something must. This guy is very scary because at the start of battle, your creatures gain random traits. Okay, which one is responsible for this? Ending. Ooh, okay, decrease speed. Additional spell gems after an enemy gains a buff for minions. Creature uses has silenced. Creature's barrier buff has more absorption. If the enemy attacks, all other enemies have a 10% chance to be sent to the bottom of the timeline. When creatures increase an enemy stat, they are decreased by 50%. Okay. After this creature attacks, it has a chance at the end of the enemy turn to cast a healing spell gem. Oh, that's good. And when enemies defend or provoke, this creature has a 50% chance to prevent it from happening. To start a battle, this creature is afflict through random enemies with fear. What does it do? Heals allies for 50% of the damage dealt. At the start of your creature's turn, they recover health. And after your creatures are healed, they gain 5% of that as maximum health as well. Oh, that's really good. I need that. Okay, which creatures deals damage to death creatures, as long as you can lose stats, and your creature's chance to cast twice spell now additional. I don't know what prevented the thing. Okay, it just prevented the thing, I guess. We'll do it again. Of course, my ant is not gaining the. Get rid of these three. This thing is not getting anything. Okay, we've got splashing here, so we can kill these and then kill this. There we go. Some shadows. Of course, there are faster builds. This build is decent enough. It does the job. It's completely serviceable, and it really gets going. It just requires a little bit of setup, which it does on its own after a bit because of the buffs, which we can get defensive. That's the one. So defensive is the buff that is making them defend after the attack. Where is it? There it is. Creatures with defensive automatically defend at the end of their turn. That is a buff. So now we just get to attack. Oh, we can look at what repelling does, in fact, right here. 50% chance to ignore damage from spells. Oh, I don't... The shell will never do damage. Any mania triggers. There we go. Got all the portals, so the quest is complete, but it's better to get everything else. Alright, hopefully we don't get screwed here. Because that Mythicant is always extremely dangerous. Okay, we can do one more defend because this guy is feared, so he's not gaining stats. That's important to realize and to understand. This guy is gaining stats, however, so we can absolutely... Oh, they decided to remove some buffs. That's unfortunate. Alright. Now we can start attacking crazy and shouldn't be a problem. If it will not dodge, that would be nice. But even if it does dodge... Oh yeah, right, it doesn't... I can't attack with it. Wow. It is dodging like crazy. What the hell is going on? If you're ever in a situation where you don't know why it's happening, it could be unluck, a luck thing, but it could be something else. This creature always deals crit damage, has a chance... Ah, there it is. There it is. It's got the wisp trait that makes it so dodgy, but it can't dodge the mania. It can't dodge the mania damage. Let's see here. We're almost done with the floor, I believe. Oh, there's a thing right here. So these dwarves, they're gamble dwarfs. Gamble. And they'll give you questions, and if you answer right, they give you a ticket to play their game. Greetings and hellos to you. This is the riddle. What class does the Blood Crusader belong to? Oh, Blood Crusader, I believe it's the red guy who... I think it's life. He has leeching and gains more healing from all sources. I think it is life. Yes. You can look in the codex. No, it's not codex, it's bestiary. Where is it? Crusader, so it would be here. Yep, it is alive. There's a portal here. That's the last enemy, I believe. They really tried to do things. Oh, they're reviving and stuff. Wow, what's reviving it? Well, what's reviving it? I don't know. Whatever. Just keep hitting it. There we go. I don't know what kept reviving it, but it's dead now. This creature always has stone. Interesting. The creatures with stone have more defense. Enemies cannot be resistant to stone. Oh no. Target's ethereal spell gems was sealed. This creature gains a small amount of intelligence for each gem that was sealed. Target takes a small amount of damage plus 20% mana damage for each time the caster has attacked in the current battle. Interesting. You can make spells have a chance to trigger on attack, which means that could potentially snowball very fast. With the grub thing... Oh, there's more stuff here. Buried treasure, which is just more resources. Ad breaks are soon. Single floor takes a while. There we go. I think that's all. You can look at the map with... Map. Yeah, you can look at the map and you can look around. I think down there? Oh, no. Nope. That's all. So then the exit is over there. Yeah. Exit is over there. There's a pillar. I'm gonna destroy it. And we can go back to Siralim, to the place. And then there's the ad break. Oh wow, it's not showing the ad break thing. That probably means I have to do the thing here. Yes, I have to do the thing here. Hold on. Connect to Twitch. Oh, I have to do this. Authorize. Okay. And now, but now the issue that, okay, I'm gonna manually do it then. Cropped part. There we go. I manually do it. And then I'll manually turn it back off. And then we can look at other things real quick. Within the game, other features. Let me see here, Nephilim. There is a Nephilim that I want, that I will want. And the Nephilim in question makes it so that when a creature is healed, it heals all other creatures for half the amount, which goes absolutely insane with my build, because if everyone has that and everyone gets healed several times at the end of their turn, several times when they defend, that can really just mean a lot of healing and all the buffs just being applied all the time. Making my creatures essentially gods, because they're getting the auto revive buffs all the time. This could be worth replacing the tree. That could be worth replacing the tree. Alright, we can do this and then continue looking at other features. Now, I got a ticket for one of those. The ticket was for slots. So Gamba. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Well, that was that. You can shop for a bunch of customization. The currency you get is from uniques that you find. Uniques are rather rare, but you can get accessories which you can put on your creatures. You can place them as you wish. And just kind of do whatever if you want to customize your favorite guys. You have plenty of options, including the Chaos Emerald for some reason. You've got altars, which just are stuff that you can put there. There's backgrounds, which not to be confused with the styles. The background is basically, you know, the black here right now. I could replace it with one of those backgrounds, essentially. That's what it is. Banners. You got columns. You got costumes. Costumes are for your character. There's a lot of them. So yeah, you have your character class, right? But like, if I want to be just a fish, right, I can do that, buy it, go to the wardrobe. Wardrobe, and I can be a fish. I can be a carrot, be a bear. Like I've got a bunch, including this. It says Pirate King, but it is the closest thing to like Clavicus, the Red Mage. I mean, so fish. I am now a fish. It flops around. It's great. It's just completely it's completely accessory. It's just visual. Miscellaneous. You got a bunch of miscellaneous decorations. Music. There's a lot of music. From like every earlier game, but they also have a CCG apparently. There's some paintings, plants, plushies. There's plushies of like pretty much every creature in the game. Not really, but you know, the more iconic ones. Rugs, scrolls. Lets you spell out things. Statues, tables, treasure, utilities, which you will find eventually a lot of you will have projects. Oh yeah, right. Let's go over every other class you can find. You can play as. Oh, I'm already building a lot, but arena is basically draft. It's draft mode. If you're tired of just like trashing the game with your build, you can just go ahead and go do a little draft mode. You get prizes from the arena, so it's not all just for fun. So Animator, the way it works is they have an animatus. They have a unique creature, kind of like the clam for the mermaid, and everything centers around that animatus. So it gets its stats from its allies. It gathers the stats from allies. It gathers the skills from allies. It protects allies. It can heal allies, revive allies. It can do all kinds of things. With the animatus, Astrologer is a bunch of perks that essentially you have to meet certain conditions to activate them. You have to plan out like things like your slowest creature is going to cast its three spells with no cost at the start of battle. So you have to make sure that your caster is always the slowest at the start of battle. Like your creature with the most defense will attack, or something like that. Like you have to min-max your team and worry about their stats. And there's also like if the enemies, I think if your allies have a certain amount of minions, they have a chance to insta-kill the enemy. I think that was one of the perks. It's very convoluted, but if you can figure out a way to make it work, then it's very satisfying when a plan comes together. That goes for everyone, but Astrologer is like specifically that to a T. Blood Mage is going to be basically using your creature's life as damage, as a source of damage. Paying for stuff. Your creatures are going to deal damage to themselves at the start of their turn, I believe. Which both helps for things that you want to heal, like that trigger on healing, and things that want the creatures to be damaged. There are some creatures that when they take indirect damage, which, you know, taking damage at the start of their turn equal to a percentage of their health would be indirect damage. They do things in response. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. Brewmaster is specifically for the dwarf stuff. Brewmaster is the booze spells, which if you look at the shop here, there's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of creatures and stuff, and they all have a randomness to them. Boost spells is a special class of spells that can't be cast manually, but they have powerful effects. You just have to find a way to cast them, and usually that is with random effects, with like spells that cast random spells, random other spells you own, traits that cast spells, or you know, that kind of thing. And there are probably class perks that makes it in this thing. I have never actually looked at the class perks, but you get the idea. Also, one of the required items is a thing that you have to buy from the gnomes guys after you complete. So okay, Kabbalists can just use a bunch of spell gems. So they're all about temporary spell gems, and you want to be able to just gamble those spell gems to get like the big spell, the big spells, plural. You want to play casters and you want them to spam the shit out of the enemy with random spells that will kill eventually. You just have to throw the random bullshit go. Okay, so Cleric is healer. So whilst Mermaid is a new class that uses Mania mostly, and the basically focus on survivability, while killing the enemy slowly with their Mania debuff. This one is able to heal, make barriers, and use healing in very specific ways. I'm trying to remember exactly how it did, but mostly it revolved around just healing your allies gave you more damage, gave you more stats. It's just kind of it benefits you to heal a lot yourself mostly, while the mermaid also wants you to heal your enemies. This is only healing yourself. Defiler is debuffs, 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 debuffs. A million debuffs. You just get them all afflicted, and then the more they're debuffed, the more you're strong against them, and the more they're weak. Demonologists does chaos, and they have like greater demons and lesser demons. And it's basically the minions. It's the minions, but another variant of it. Doombringer makes it so that creatures can perform actions multiple times in a row, spells, attacks, and that stacks with the Wisp. Yes, that gets 3 attacks and 3 spells per turn. I can get really this gets really nutty and probably works really well with that grub unique we found. Dream Shades, they're basically confusion turbo, confusion maxing. They have perks that gives a chance that enemies' healing spells will target you instead. Enemies' damage spell will target them instead. They work around the enemies' things, which is pretty good when the enemies are soon outleveling you. Their stats are better, their actions are better used against themselves than against you. Druid has, is it the one? No, it's not the Growth Tender. This is a, they want to have less creatures, less than 6 creatures. In exchange, the perks they do give are absolutely ridiculously busted. You want like a smaller team, like maybe 3 instead of 6, but these 3 guys will be absolute monsters. Engineer, you just bombs. Boom, boom, boom. Bomb is a debuff that can be stacked, and the more it's stacked, the more damage it does. So this says I will stack bomb as much as I can, and the enemies will just explode. Evoker is specifically spellcasters, but multiple times in a row, and on turn 0. So while the Chaos one was just like you have to work around the fact that you get ethereal spells and just kind of gamble to get what you need, Evoker is you are going to be casting spells a lot. I think they have a trait that makes it so that if a creature casts a spell but not manually, it doesn't cost spell gems. So you just automatically cast spells and you do it all the time. Fanatic is with gods. So when you get enough piety with a god, when you get enough times claiming a god's realm, you get the option to buy their what's it called? Their basically a mini version of themselves. And the fanatic boosts these guys specifically. Graveborn is revive spam. You rise from the dead again and again and again. Grove Tenders take so Grove Tenders are the one that uses the Herbling, which is their own unique creature. And the Herbling is a very fun nature creature that has really fun abilities when you unlock them with the perks. My friend used that use that specialization like a little, like when he played a while ago, and basically was doing things to it. It was just attacking it, and every time it got damaged by his allies, he just kept making everyone bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually he just turned his attention to the enemy and one-shot them all. The mime is weird. The mime is copying the enemy's actions with your own creatures. And I believe some of the perks make it so that you use the appropriate stat from the enemy as well when you do so. But yeah, it's mostly just mirroring the enemy, so you're very dependent on what the enemy does. Monk is dodge turbo. Necromancer is minions, but like the Demonologist is like their special brand of minions, and Necromancer is just minions. Paladin is counterattacks. So a lot of counterattacking. Purgatorian is so Purgatorian's main gimmick, right, is that creatures, when they die, they don't really die. They can keep acting even though they're dead. So they still get a turn. They just, if all of them are in that between life or dead thing, they count as dead as far as game overs go. So you can't just like guarantee you win. You have to have at least one creature that's truly alive. Pyromancer's is fire. Burn. Burn is fire spell. Reaver is Berserk. No, it's not Berserk. It's so Reavers are right. It's Perseverance. So it's the one that stalls. It stalls. It wants the game to go into that mode where after a certain amount of turns, creatures start to take more and more damage to avoid, infinite battles. And Reavers want that to happen because that is where they are at their strongest. Royal is a class that you will use last because Royal combines other specializations, but they do so by doing anointments, which like you have to beat a certain late game challenge with a class to unlock its anointments. Rune Knight are they have their unique spells that boost their creatures, and these spells depend on several factors with the perks. Shadowbringers is I don't know actually. Shadowbringer, I don't know by heart. I haven't toyed around with that class, but it sounds like stat changes. Siege Master is defenses turbo. So if you want to really lean into the defense thing and just make it your entire thing, Siege Master is for you. Sorcerers is just debilitating stuns. Yes, it's debuffs, but it's also spells that skip the opponent's turns. Spellweaver is yeah, it's getting it's using spells to buff your creatures. In some way. Toxicologist is poison turbo. Tribalist, you want all creatures you control to have the same race or class, and or both, possibly both, because they want they have traits that benefit that. Trickster is luck. It's gambling. It's luck manipulation, actually. So if you want, yeah, right. Tricksters is like random effects will have a better chance of getting the right outcome. So just subscribe to Luke von Karma, the class. Warden is buffs, specific, like the buffs I'm giving my creatures when they heal, like the little square things, like that kind of buff. Windrunners is speed, so you just get your turn before the opponent ever gets one, and you keep it that way as much as possible. And finally, Witch Doctor. Ooh ooh ah ah, ting tang walla walla bing bang. It's forcing the enemy to fight each other. It's not just debuffs, you are making the enemy attack each other in various ways. And then there's the ones I have unlocked as well. We look at specializations. Hell Knight is attack, attack, attack. Inquisitor is kind of like a Red Mage in a way. It is healing, but also the healing and the revival is repurposed as damage. For example, when your creatures heal enemies, they instead cause damage. They also get, like, when your creatures revive, they deal damage equal to their max health to all enemies and something like that. So you wanna use the healing as like an offensive tool with Inquisitor, while the Priest is more like you get really good benefits from healing yourself. And Mesmerist, you manipulate buffs and debuffs. So sleeping and blind specifically in this case. Sleeping makes the enemy skip their turn, and blind makes the enemy have trouble hitting, and also their targets are random among your creatures. So they have trouble getting a turn. When they do get a turn, they're missing most of the time. And then, of course, Mesmerist has a bunch of perks. We can look at them real quick before the end of the stream. Perks. So they have a bunch of perks like Sheld and Arcane. That's also a thing they can do. So they can... Arcane makes it so that spell gems don't cost anything. but then they would be removed, you know, if the buff didn't have a 80% chance for it to persist, essentially making it so that you can keep using it. And Shroud protects from damage once and then is removed, but again, you can just keep it. Your creatures are guaranteed to crit sleeping enemies, and after an enemy loses blind or sleeping, they have an 80% chance to be afflicted with them again. Normally they would become resistant, and so they would not be able to be blinded or sleeping again, but this says no, actually you stay sleeping. If they would take damage, they would remove sleeping, but no. So yes, this is one of the other new classes. Fun game. My god, I'm explaining so much. It's gonna be a fun video. Maybe I can edit that all together. No, I'll need to work that out into like an actual script, because this was mostly unscripted. Anyway, that's enough for today. Bye bye.